Mic check!
Mic check!
We are live streaming.
We are live streaming.
I would keep your personal comments to yourself for the time being.
Okay.
Work group announcements. Anything?
Yeah.
David?
1 second, let me make sure I get my notes thing set up.
Alright, these are the...
1 second, let me just get the notes ready.
Alright, these are the media work group meetings from yesterday. And I'm actually reading them off the notes. I haven't had a chance to write them up yet. The Now DC event, which is on March 30th, I believe. We need to find out if anybody's actually going to go to that so we can get them to cover the event for us. You know, write an article, do some video.
What event are you talking about?
The Now DC.
Carl's going.
The February 18th forum down in Olympia. We've got Deborah and Francesca are going to cover that for us. If anybody here wants to be a reporter and join the media work group, we're turning it into a media work group.
On the note before, for Washington, D.C., I'm actually going to probably head over there here pretty soon. If I can get my own gear, I'll cover that for you guys. Because I'm covering it for Seattle, I can cover it for here, and wherever. So, I mean, if I'm joining your media team, it's totally up to you guys.
March 17th, that's the new Occupy the Courts, and I think they're actually calling it Get Money Out of Politics now. It's going to go from, actually that's Action Work Group. Max is going to cover that unless he has work obligations, and Adam's going to film it anyways because he always films it. Today we had a Free Speech TV meeting at 2 p.m. at Cutter's Points. That's a TV show that Free Speech TV is interested in doing about Occupy Tacoma or with Occupy Tacoma. I was the only one that showed up. Other people have showed interest on the forum. So if you're interested in working on that, next Sunday 2 p.m. at Cutter's Points. That's all I got.
Alright. Thank you, Dave.
Yep, we did.
Was it work group? Work group announcements without proposals. Any work groups with proposals?
Is anybody here that went to Action Work Group that can tell us about the foreclosure? Anything on that?
I can.
Dave?
Dave again.
I can't.
Brett could probably tell you the same thing. The March 9th action has been postponed. Because of the way the auctions happen, they're kind of spread out. They're not really auctions. There's just a person that is reading, kind of mumbling the information about the homes. You have to have a cashier's check of a certain amount just to even be able to bid. So unless we had a lot of people there's not really much we can disrupt. So they're gonna plan more. So it's been postponed so far.
What about the people whose house was being foreclosed on and being sold at that?
Jessica,
It was taken off.
It's off the block now. For now, it will go back on, or it might go back on in a couple months. So those of you who are gonna go and contact the other people whose houses were being foreclosed, we don't have to do that now. But they are working on rescheduling or maybe even doing it that day, but for now it has been postponed. And that's all I got for action.
Work group reports.
Work group reports? Already did that. Oh.
Anyone have a report from Occupation Work Group?
Well, I got one. It's it's the DC March Action Group. We're gonna have a meeting, let's say on Wednesday at 3 o'clock at Bellows. Anybody who's interested in being part of that, come down, share some ideas, some info. You know, we're willing to put some little research into what needs to be done in order for us to go. Plan is a month and a half from now we want to walk out of here because we don't want to get stuck halfway through the country in the middle of summer. No offense, I don't want to die halfway to DC. So, right, Dave? Other than that, that's about it. So 3 o'clock Wednesday at a Bellows for the work group meeting.
Where at?
Right across the street at the pizza place.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, 3 o'clock. Unless anybody's got a better time that would be more suitable for 3. Alright, so yeah, 3 o'clock.
That's your DC March?
Yes.
Sorry, you don't want to hear what I
Maybe we do.
Well, it's about that. It just sounds like it's going to be split into 2 different groups, possibly.
Yeah.
Some people are taking it upon themselves that there's only going to be 5 of them from this park doing it, and they're moving on all this on their own outside of the park right now. They're working on it, so if you are interested, W is your man. Working on it.
No offense. I've been working on this DC thing for almost a month now. I've been busting my ass nightly at the times that we had a computer. Trust me, I've ran the ink out on the printer, printing up, typing up. Some people, no offense, want to sit there and say that they're they want to be part of it. Hey, I have nothing against that, but don't take over and don't have outside meetings. If you're going to be part of the march, bring all your ideas and all your ideas and whatever else, concerns or anything, to the actual work group meeting. Because, and no offense, if 2 groups walk out of here, it's going to be pointless if 2 groups walk out and one goes one way and the other one goes the other way and nobody knows what the hell's going on. So, but other than that, we have Autumn who's been patiently holding a hand up. Snacker.
I still think 45 days is enough to be prepared for 3,000 miles.
What was that again?
I don't think 45 days is enough to have it done.
How long would you think?
I
in your opinion?
Well, honestly, I would say at least 2 months, maybe. Planning. Just to make sure that everybody has the things that they need.
Okay.
So you guys are going to have needs that you don't have here. You're going to need these things here.
That's a good point.
Joy.
That's a good point.
The biggest concern with waiting 2 to 3 months to start walking is there isn't a lot going on in the north half of the country, in the Midwest, and even till you get all the way to the East Coast. In the north half of the country, it's pretty barren as far as Occupy movement. And I know this is from Gumby's research, and so we have to go south and then cross the country to follow Occupy support. And the concern is June and July in the south is going to be really fucking hot.
Yeah, like
So
as
we
you
need to
guys
get
are
going
to
sooner
Texas,
so that we can be through the super hot states by the time it's August, July time.
But I do understand what I'm saying.
I understand that it's going to be Burning Man. It's going to be a lot of work for those who do want to do this march, getting everything ready to go in 45 days.
I was going to say, I think there already has been quite a bit of planning into it, and so I think leaving it that day is very important for what Joy just said, and we've already been putting a lot of planning into it. We've got the route already pretty much done, so I just think that the more people that come attend the meetings, it'd be a lot better served to get everybody together so we can start finalizing everything. There's already been put a lot of planning into it, so I think that date is definitely doable.
Well,
Adam was next.
Adam, and then Burning Man, and then back to Joy. And me.
I would just like to request that people either stand up and speak louder or people's mic, because I couldn't hear a word of what was said over there.
Okay.
I actually concur with Joy on that, because actually let's just get a mic check.
Mic check.
I concur.
I concur
with Joy.
with Joy.
I used to
live
in the state of California.
Live in the state of California.
I left when I was 12.
I left when I was
It
12.
was a year of high record heat,
It was a year of high record heat,
and with global warming going the way that it has,
and with global warming going the way that it has,
it's gonna be way hotter this year.
it's going to be way hotter this year.
So the sooner we get out of here,
So the sooner we get out of here,
the sooner we get there,
the sooner we get there,
the sooner the better we are gonna be.
the sooner the better we are going to be.
To tell you personally, I don't want to bake out there, man. I mean, like, I've exercised enough for this kind of stuff, but I'm not getting dehydrated and sitting laying next to a dead cow.
Right.
Honestly.
Joy.
Even if you don't want to do the march,
Even if you don't want to do the march,
we're going to need a strong team back home
we're going to need a strong team back home
to do media contacts and other occupied contacts.
To do media contacts and other occupied contacts.
So you could be involved
So you can be involved.
and help us make this march a reality
And help us make this march a reality.
without committing to walking across the country.
Without committing to walking across the country. Dave.
Actually, that kind of brought up another thing.
Actually, that kind of brought up another thing.
One of the ideas I had for the free speech TV show was
One of the ideas I had for the free speech TV show was,
Occupy. But also, if you're planning on going on the march,
you need to start
training.
We need to start training
Tomorrow, today.
Burning Man.
I agree with Joy on that. But to add to that, we're gonna need a media team on that trip.
we're going to need a media team on that trip.
I have experience
I have experience
through Seattle's reporting team,
through Seattle's reporting team,
and I would definitely love to help spearhead that.
and I would definitely love to help spearhead that.
Also, on a side note,
Also, on a side note,
if we want to get an exercise program going,
if we want to get an exercise program going,
I'd love to join on that.
I'd love to join on that.
Joy, can you facilitate for a second?
Yeah.
I have a clarification on the media aspect.
And then he has a clarification.
I have a clarification on the
Media
media
aspect.
The whole media thing.
The whole media thing.
One of the ideas that I'm trying to hold on to
One of the ideas that I'm trying to hold on to
is from step one
is from step 1
to step last
to step last
is to have at least the group that leaves here
is to have at least the group that leaves here
will have helmet cams.
will have helmet
I
cams.
want this all documented from the first step to the last.
I want this all documented from the first step to the last.
I'll turn that people's mind. Hold on, because that really throws me off. The thing is it won't be like full live streaming all day long.
Right.
What it'll be is if we can acquire the few helmet cams that will just record it every night that we stop for the night, we upload every night. So everybody can see as we're sleeping, they can watch the day's events, what we've gone through, what we're doing, how we're experiencing it. Because to be perfectly honest, this is something that ain't nobody fucking has done before. And I mean, there's people that have gone from coast to coast, or from state to state to state. But here's the thing: one thing that hasn't been done is from coast to coast, recorded, and then numbers doubling. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'll be happy when I get to DC if there's if 5 of us leave and only 5 join up. I'm happy. That's sad. I say this is going to spark a revolution, and one way or another, I want it recorded. So yes, the media group idea. If you want to spearhead that, I have no problem with that. At that point, you would have to get in talk with Dave, because Dave has proclaimed himself as the one that he's going to help with the.
I haven't proclaimed it.
Okay, you know what the hell I meant. Hey, Dave said that he would be a big asset as far as like getting the website going, you know, helping put the website together, because every night we upload our footage, it's going to automatically have our GPS on it. So at any given time throughout the day, someone can actually go onto the website, pull us up, and it'll show us exactly where we are. But as far as the footage being uploaded, will be done nightly. Yeah, I do it that. I think I would do it that way because too much bandwidth, too much lagging. You know, if it's just constantly live streaming. You know what I mean? We do it one upload every night. Why not? So, I mean, if you want to be part of that, just get with Dave and.
Oh wait, I'm process keeper.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Alright. You had a clarifying statement and then bring in. You
Just
right there,
clarifying.
so you drink your coffee. Put up a
No, that was Cody. That was
Near island in Paris. Then my mom told me they're done occupying USA. Now it's coast to coast, not state by state.
Right.
Nearly, I heard by my mom.
Right.
Seem used to being occupied USA.
I like it. Occupy USA, coast to coast. Alright. Burning Man.
For the sake of time, can we like have a brainstorming right after this?
Yeah.
All this like
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
we need to keep this going.
Well, unless there's any other agenda.
Well, true. I mean, I'm just allotting for time. I don't want to be like a time whore, you know.
I mean, personally, I feel that this is like probably like one of the biggest actions that this part of our
Is
group
it?
is trying to get going.
Okay, well.
Is there going to be a discussion about what happened yesterday?
Yeah.
We need to.
That.
Yeah,
So we'll
that's
move.
what we discussed.
So we'll come back to the whole Occupy thing after the talk of what happens, what transpired yesterday. Anybody want to bring that up and spearhead it?
Well, let's keep
Well,
going.
we'll
Is
do
there
that.
any other work group
We'll
reports?
do that in the discussion.
In the discussion.
Well, I mean, is it occupation work group?
It's a discussion.
It's a
Yeah,
discussion.
discussion.
We need to finish up with the work group. Any last minute work group reports, discussions,
Proposals.
non-proposals, or just work group discussions in general? Dave.
I did forget an action.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Tomorrow, mic check, Rick Santorum.
Mic check. Mic check.
No.
Mic check, Rick Santorum.
All proposals or discussions are random at all.
Where's our process keeper?
I'm not who claimed to be processes keeper? Because I'm
I am.
facilitator.
Are
That's
there
what
any
it is.
individual proposals?
That's what it's called, Chris.
Oh. Well, why is there 2 days for it then? No, go.
Any individual proposals?
No.
Alright, so next thing on the agenda is general discussion. Topics for general
I have a
discussion?
topic. Yesterday's antics, actions.
We need some.
Yes, it was.
We need the live stream for
Yes, it
this.
was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, we need this.
I got
For the
yeah, we
GA.
don't think something like that.
I know.
Um,
No, Joy's right. It's something that has to get brought up.
It has to be
Alright.
brought up, but on live stream is a different thing.
It's part of the GA.
We're transparency.
If it's we have transparency.
Transparency. Come on.
Clear transparency. Let's.
Adam.
Huh?
How do you feel about it? Should we bring it up now?
You know,
Discuss about it?
I'm a big fan of transparency. If it's something you don't want, if it's something you don't feel should be live streamed, then you should probably conclude the GA and have a separate thing. But that's up to you guys.
Well, hold on. Do we?
That's what I think.
Alright,
live stream it?
the topic for conversation right now is, do we want to have this discussion on live stream? Let's get hands raised and comments on that. I know Dave was about to speak, and then Autumn, and then Burning Man had his hand up, and then I'll just go around the room, so Tom, Jessica, Brett.
No, we're just raising our hands for the discussion.
Well, I have some other things to discuss then.
Oh, Amy's got something else to
We're gonna
discuss.
just conclude the GA first or whatever we do.
No, we're not gonna. No, we're asking.
No, we're
should
asking-
We're voting
should we
on that.
discuss what happened yesterday
All right,
on
so
live stream?
okay. Dave, what do you want to say?
I feel it should be on live stream. It's something that if it ever happens again, I'll walk away from the movement.
Okay.
And I will leave the movement. I did not sign up for what happened.
All
All right. Well then.
Tom and Jessica, did you have comments? Or were you just agreeing with?
I have a comment.
Okay, Jessica.
I think that we should have this discussion and it should be live streamed and recorded because transparency definitely, and we cannot make people think that we're perfect because everyone knows that we're not. Everyone needs to know what's going on, and because things that happen involve people that everyone knows and they're very big into the movement when it comes to Occupy Tacoma, and people need to know what they've done.
Okay. Is there anybody who is against this being live streamed? Burning Man, go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, I learned in my teenage years, which I'm still sort of in, that sometimes, even as embarrassing as it is, even though I don't know what happened, you still gotta buck up and talk about it. I mean, it's not gonna go away. So.
1 second, let us ambulance get by, so this is hear you again.
Ambulance followed by a fire truck. TPD and their finest friends going up the hill to do it. Good job.
Mic
Mic check.
check. Go ahead, continue, sorry.
Burning Man.
How much of that did you hear?
I think we were just trying to
Just
figure
start
out if
over.
anyone's opposed to it.
Well, okay. I'm just saying I'm all for it. I mean, when I was growing up, I learned, sadly late, that sometimes you need to buck up and talk about it. I mean, it's not going to go away until it's resolved.
Okay.
Amen.
I don't even know what happened, but let's go for it.
Your turn.
Transparency.
My only thing is that some people it affected aren't here. But albeit we have to talk about it, and Rob can't come back till tomorrow, Warlock still can't come back until the day after tomorrow, Kirk was voted out, Josh isn't here, Ryan isn't here. That was my one thing, but you're alright, it has to be talked about, it has to come up. And and also we have to figure out what we're gonna do for things like before they come back, because let's face it, some of them have very explosive personalities, and we need to find out if we're gonna plan on how to deal with that. Because with what happened yesterday, I'm surprised the cops weren't called more than once, or we didn't have more fights breaking out.
Alright, so,
Autumn.
Alright, Autumn.
I don't think anybody. Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
She doesn't think anybody's opposed.
I don't.
So let's continue on with the conversation.
Amy.
I was just before, so it's obviously going to be a long conversation. Does anybody else? I have an announcement. Does anybody else have any other announcements? Anybody?
I do.
Okay.
I want to save it for last.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to Tuesday after the city council live stream, so probably around like 8. If anybody wants to stay down here, I was going to have a fundraising work group meeting to talk about some ideas that we have for fundraising and get a proposal together to get supplies for the button machine and t-shirts and stuff. So Tuesday, or actually, I don't know if it'd be better to go before the council meeting or after. Does anyone know?
Let's do
Or
that.
Wednesday after the other meeting.
What time is that at?
The other one's at 3.
Okay, so Wednesday at 5 here, we'll have a meeting for fundraising.
Bentley?
Will you facilitate for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. On the same thing as what she was saying as far as the fundraising thing, we still have one fundraising idea that has been thrown out there for the last month or so. That is the Dorkies Arcade idea with the tournament and the rock show afterwards. I know quite a few people here have heard about it and know what the plans on it.
Okay, we'll talk about it at the work group then. That's what we want to do.
I know, I'm just gonna put it out there. So yeah, anybody who wants to jump on the Dorkies idea, come talk to me, or Joel or Amy,
I just mean, or come to the worker
Yeah,
meeting.
just come to the meeting or just talk to me. And if you can't come to the meeting, just come talk to me. And if you can't talk to me, come to the meeting. There.
Wednesday at 5. All right. Any more announcements? Burning Man.
When does anybody want to do a brainstorm for Occupy?
Through
Tonight.
Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
Wednesday at 3 o'clock
Wednesday,
is
3
the
o'clock.
next meeting.
Well, some people said they wanted to do it
So
tonight.
tonight and Wednesday at 3
Yeah, tonight
o'clock
and
is the
Wednesday.
announced one that we're going to put on the website. So
Can we do a brainstorm
Other
tonight
people
right
didn't
after
know
GA?
yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. So let's
Any more announcements that haven't been announced?
Well, I'm sorry to be a repetitive
I
asshole.
love you. I'm just kidding.
So let's move on to the
Love
topic
you,
and
Joy.
discussion of yesterday.
Wait a minute, Joy, didn't you say you had an announcement to make?
I'll incorporate it in the conversation.
Oh, well, go ahead, Joy.
No, go ahead and talk. I'll bring
Okay,
it up.
so
It'll be
who wants to start off with the discussion of yesterday?
I will.
Somebody who can explain what happened
Yeah,
at the beginning.
actually, from
And
someone
let's
who
let
was
the
here.
person explain it until the end, and then let's ask questions or whatever so they can actually get the whole thing out.
All right. So Jessica, do you want to comment on something before we go into this?
I was gonna say that David told me that he wanted to bring it up at least, so maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Let David do it, because David.
Alright, the names have been named. I'm going to keep names out of it,
No.
but someone
You
came
guys-
in.
I say
Name names?
I would like to.
Okay.
I'm like a temperature check. I'm naming names.
Who would like to see would like to know who was all involved in yesterday? Anybody down for it? Anybody opposing, blocking, or abstaining? Everybody wants to know.
It would simplify things considerably.
Yeah.
Alright, so 2 days ago, Kevin and Rob got into a fight. From what I heard, it was mutual combat. I saw the very end of it. Kevin called the cops. Rob took off. Kevin and Kirk clarifying.
Clarification, I'm sorry. From what I actually got from both, what happened was that Kevin,
I thought we were gonna
Yeah,
be silent
it
until
was-
he was
One
done.
thing out and then
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Please.
it was Kevin just antagonized everybody, and then Rob finally took a swing on him, and that's
Hey,
From what I know, it wasn't mutual.
Mic check.
Mic check.
We're gonna let Dave tell the whole story.
And then we
Let
talk
Dave
about
tell the
after.
Whole story.
And then we'll put in
Or 2 cents.
individuals' opinions. Yeah. So,
Go ahead, Dave.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Kevin called the police. They showed up. They decided it was mutual combat at that time. Kevin and Kirk went and got a restraining order against Rob. They said it was for the park and against Kevin. Kirk also started saying some. This is the part I really don't think we should talk about, but he said.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's something that we shouldn't talk
He
about.
said some real. He slandered Rob in a really bad way. It's something that we verified that wasn't true. Man, that light is bright.
Well, it also shows that.
Hey, Gumby.
Sorry.
We verified that what Kirk said wasn't true. We determined that it was kind of like breaking the code of respect. So, anyways, the next day, Brian, Josh, and Tristan came. They wanted to call an emergency OA to vote to evict Kirk and Kevin. They went back there. They were blowing whistles, yelling for everybody to get out, which is totally cool. That's fine. Call an emergency OA. They went up to Kirk's tent, started shaking it, yelling at him to get out of the tent. Josh took a knife, put it into the tent, and cut the tent open, not knowing where Kirk was in the tent or where Monero was in the tent.
Threatened to stab his dog.
Well, I didn't hear that, but either way, the knife in the tent was bad enough. They got him out. Kirk came out basically swinging, which can't really blame him. There was mutual combat between Josh and Kirk there. And then we voted to evict all 4 people, Rob, Kevin, Kirk, and Josh he gave himself a 48-hour leave, which I think that's, we need to discuss that. that's something that needs to be discussed.
Are we at that point? Are we at
We
that
are
point?
at the point that we can discuss now.
Because what I heard today was from a bunch of people, different, sides of the story or whatever. But what I don't understand is why one of the people involved was permanently banned and other people that are involved are not. That's where I'm confused.
We have a C over here, and then Jessica had her hand up.
Kirk is not well liked in the camp. There are a few of us who have actually gotten to know him, and yeah, we don't maybe not agree with his politics, some of his beliefs, but he's a nice guy once you get to know him. So some people didn't like him, and that's why the permanent ban.
So it was like a witch hunt kind of thing.
You could
Because
call
that's
it
kind of
that.
the feeling I've gotten from just about
He got
everybody.
voted off the island.
So, Jessica?
I guess I wanted to add that Brian and Josh were also slandering Kirk as well, saying some pretty messed up things. I got woken up to it, to hearing some pretty nasty things. I would have much rather have just been woken up to emergency OA rather than all the other things that I heard. So, I think that... Clarifying?
No, go ahead and finish.
Go ahead and finish
Okay.
first. I want what was said.
Dad, wait your turn.
I totally lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. So,
We were all woke up
yeah.
to Josh running through the camp saying Kirk is a baby raper, a baby fucker, and he needs to go.
And dog fucker, I heard that too.
And he threatened to stab Monera if he didn't come out of his tent immediately.
Gummy?
I'll say it like this. Somebody calls me a baby fucker, I'm coming out of my tent and I'm kicking me some ass. I've been molested, I've been raped as a child, so to call me something like that to my face, or to even insinuate of that, I don't care, park rules, park conduct or not, they go out the window. And another thing, if someone was to take a knife to my fucking tent, I'm coming out with a hammer and we getting it up. Because like someone brought up earlier, nobody knew where Kurt was in his tent when Josh put the knife in the tent. So what would have happened if the knife went in the tent and it didn't meet tent, it met flesh?
He'd have been fucked.
It would have been, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Paul,
I just had to say
Paul,
that because
and
I
then
don't
Autumn.
play that game.
Paul has a C, and then Autumn had her hand up.
We need to clarify that Kirk's tent was a one-man tent. There was barely enough room for him to get away from a knife blade.
Autumn?
What happened to the code of respect?
Gumby?
My personal
And then
opinion
Brandon.
is everybody just kind of threw it out the window. Once, no offense, once DOT came through and started talking about fucking, we all having to leave and everything like that. Check it out. Everybody got shipwreck fever in this camp. Everybody got shipwreck fever and jump shit like rats. Look, we don't have a fucking media tent anymore. We don't have a medical tent anymore. Half our camp is desolate, and half the tents we got back there ain't got nobody in them because of the fact of everybody got scared. Everybody got scared of a little muscle. Guess what? Our muscle, we have more muscle than anybody else does. Our muscle is our numbers. If our numbers aren't here, then we ain't got no muscle. Yeah.
Alright. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Burning Man, Amy, Autumn?
What happened to signing up until it's over? I mean, honestly, I mean, that's what I signed up. I took maybe like a 2-month leave. That's it. I'm in this until we're all considered terrorists and locked up in our frickin' FEMA camps. I mean, don't jump ship. Come on.
Amy, and then Autumn, and then Paul?
I have a few things. I didn't jump ship. which I've been gone, one of the reasons I've not been here a lot is because of things like this. I feel like there's so much drama and ridiculousness happening here that I really don't even want to be around it. I can't get anything done down here when I'm dealing with feeling like some people have to be babysat almost, or you have to worry about everybody and what they're doing when there's, you know, I'm not in the movement to deal with this kind of stuff, and I feel like my personal opinion, I think that that whole situation, just hearing about knives and people calling people names like that, especially from my knowledge, when I've been around Kurtz, it doesn't seem like he's somebody. It seems like you have to really, really rile him up for him to come out swinging at anybody. And anyways, my point is, at the point we're at right now with the whole DOT and whatever, that anybody involved in that situation that has gone, because I just don't think that should be tolerated, especially when there's already too much drama going on right now. And you know, I've been gone, I haven't been staying down here for that reason, and then I get down here and I've been here 10 minutes and already it's like, it's just a shit show. I mean, I don't know what else to call it.
I left for the same reason. I mean, initially I left because I was sick and I had to get away and get somewhere warm, and then didn't want to come back because I can't get any work done here. Not for the movement, not for wake up, not for anything. I spend the whole time I'm here stressed out, like constantly. I'm watching it happen to other people, you know. Something is not right here, and it's got to be fixed. And I think as far as Kirk and Josh are concerned, just specifically the two, because that's the biggest story that I've heard about. My opinion, personally, is that Kirk needs to be called and be told that he is welcome here within his 48-hour time period. And Josh, on the other hand, if he comes back, needs to be told he's not welcome here. This is, we're talking about close to what could have been like serious, you know, charges against all of us, you know, in the movement.
Yeah.
Definite eviction.
Paul, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of pussyfooting around the fact that Brian has been selling drugs in this fucking park. He has. Now, we kicked him out because he tried to peddle a handful of freaking oxycodone. He's permanently banned. Brian has been making money off everybody in this camp. I have a possible action. I would like to possibly request that the State Patrol be informed of Brian's actions, and that
everyone else is
Brian and Francesca's bank account should be frozen by the State Patrol until they can produce receipts proving that that money was earned not here in the camp, not by that means.
Where are we at? Brett, and then Burning, or you haven't spoke yet, so Brett, and then you, and then Burning Man, and then Jumping. Oh, you have to see.
I gotta see. Well, my clarification is back to what Autumn said.
I'm over here.
Oh.
God, you're first over there.
I moved like ninja.
Yeah, right?
To go back to what Autumn said, as far as we need to get our camp in order, it's fucking true.
Our park.
Yeah.
Our park.
Our
camp.
It's not
look,
a camp.
Whatever. It's not a park either. It's a fucking surplus piece of land.
check this out. The place that we are calling ours right now, we need to fucking get it in order now.
Yes, we do.
And I've been talking about this for fucking months. And nobody wants to fucking listen. Now it takes, no offense to anybody here, but it takes an act of true violence with weapons to bring this fucking park together. Okay, so let's be smart about it. If we're gonna fucking sit here and discuss all this, not only do we discuss what has happened, we also now need to discuss what the fuck is going to happen from this point forth. How shit's going to be handled from this point forth. Because I don't like the fact that hearing Dave said that if this shit was to happen again, he's out of here. Look, I don't like the fact, I like Autumn. And, you know, and Autumn says she's left. You know,
Well,
you haven't left the movement, but you have left here and not being here because of the shit that's been going on here. You know, Amy too. Look, I don't see. Check it out. I want to see a show of hands. Remember when everybody first got here? How was this park when everybody got here?
It was a protest.
We liked it here.
If we don't do something like that, we have clarification stuff.
I was just gonna say that I don't think that was off topic because I think this discussion's been a long time coming, regardless of what happened yesterday or not. But all this, I think, is a discussion that we need to have. So I think just if it's too off topic, like out of control, we could process it. But I think that definitely needs a lot of things that have been needed to be said.
Clarification on this statement of security. People have to work the security shifts.
Yes.
People have to get up and do that.
Yeah.
You know, I came in here last night, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and Dave and Dylan were the only 2 people awake. And I sat up with Dylan until 6 o'clock in the morning, barely being able to keep our eyes open because nobody else was here doing it. You know, and I know that he's done that more than once, you know, lots of times he's been the only person awake with Dave. You know, Brett getting up at 4 o'clock every morning. Where's everybody else? You guys sleep here too, right?
Got another clarification?
Yeah, clarification on Autumn's statement and clarifying on her clarifying. We have had a lot of issues with people not waking people up for security, and when asked about it, oh, they were trying to keep people up, or oh, we couldn't find your tent. I tried to solve that by renumbering all the tents since a lot have been taken down and things like that. Obviously didn't help at all. But even if there's enough people awake, which I don't really see, you should still wake up your relief.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about, though. The board was empty last night. There was nobody to wake up. You know.
Well, that's when I feel that people need to take it upon themselves. If there's no one signed up for security, wake someone up. If you're tired, then that makes your performance to, just in case something happens and you're dead dog tired, how are you going to be able to do your job completely? So if you're too tired, please come wake me up. Come wake Tom up. Come wake up someone who you haven't seen do security. That's just me. I don't care if it makes anyone else mad, but we all need to stay safe here. And I'm pretty sure, you know, with everything being stolen, things being thrown in the trash, things like that, if you want that to stop, then be part of the solution.
Okay, we have a.
It was Brett. Brett's been having.
Yeah, but then we have a clarification.
But everybody's clarifying real quick.
Go ahead, Tom.
I know the other morning when I had signed up for security for 2 o'clock, I did not get waken up till 4:10, and I was told that they were letting people sleep and that there was enough people out there. And I mean, like, the whole point is like to wake up your relief. It doesn't matter how many fucking people are out. You know, the whole point is to wake up your relief. That's fine. I'm security. So if I'm supposed to be starting my shift, you know, at least follow that. You know, don't just wait till like 2 hours later. Oh no, never.
Alright, so
Brett.
And what happens when your relief don't get up and you go back there and finally you just say, fuck it, we don't need them. If they're
some
not
water
gonna get
on
up.
Yeah, that may not be a good reason.
I mean, getting back to all the leaving and, you know, well, I left because of this and that. A week ago Monday,
I left here, and I let quite a few people know that I was going to leave. I needed a break, just get away for a while. I left here on Monday. I signed up for a 6 o'clock a.m. security shift Tuesday morning. I came, did my shift, stayed around. DOT showed up, talking about the eviction stuff. So I came back. I was gone 9 hours, I think. You know, I came back, stayed through the week. Friday when DOT came back, I guess, and I actually wasn't here when they came back, but then they just started discussing 4 to 5 weeks out. Well, due to that, I decided, well, you know what? Just this last Monday, I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and take that break I was going to take. And come back yesterday, and I really didn't mean to come to the park. If I knew that foreclosure, it wasn't an action meeting. It was a meeting, yeah, the foreclosure meeting at TG. I thought it was at the park. I wouldn't come to the park if I misread it on the website. But upon coming to the park, hearing all this crap that just went down in 5 days, I was gone. You know, well, now I came back again because it's bullshit. You know, and I mean, and as far as I kind of take offense to the fact of jumping ship because, like I said, when DOT came on Tuesday and I had finished my security shift and I was still here, that's when I decided, no, I got to be here if they're gonna do it. You know, I didn't jump ship; I jumped back in the ship. You know, instead of taking a break. But then, upon finding out it was gonna be a while, decided I'd take that break I needed. I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, but still, it was a break nonetheless. And I love you all, but a lot of you are wishy-washy anymore. I don't know. I mean,
say what you mean. This is the
well,
are you calling on people?
Huh?
Are you calling on people?
It's Burning Man and then Joy.
But
Brett's still talking. I'm just saying, you know, like I said, we need to come back together. And it seems to me there is only a handful of people that is dragging this whole thing down. There's a handful of people out there. Right now, they're former occupiers that have been dragging this ship down. And those people have already just been discussed tonight.
There are those. I'm sorry. This is kind of a clarifying. There are those people that are trying to sabotage us from the outside that never even stayed at this park for a day.
True.
You know, that were supporting us, you know, through other aspects, and they're trying to sabotage us from the outside. You know, we don't need to be destroying ourselves from the inside, whether the inside be the movement or the park. You know.
Burning Man, then Joy, then Paul, and then me.
First off, I'm not even gonna explain. I'm not even gonna explain why I was gone for the past few months. That was it doesn't even matter. If that wouldn't have happened, I would have been here the whole time. Second of all, I'm gonna do this. If you don't want to, or if you can't do security, come get me, because me being the youngest male here, I can do this. I can stay up all night if need be. I have no problem with it. I'm a night owl. I sleep during the day. If you don't have anybody for security, come get me. If I'm up at night, chances are I'm going to be up until the sun comes out. Problem solved, maybe? And plus, I mean, on the issue of security, we focus a lot more during the day on other activities that, you know, sometimes we don't necessarily need. Yes, it's great, and it will definitely help us, but in the long run, in order to fuel those daytime events, we also need to focus on protecting ourselves at night.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay, Joy.
I appreciate Burning Man stepping up and saying he'll work any security shift. My concern
Any and
is
all.
that I've been here since the first day we took occupation, October 15th, and the number one thing that's been talked about in our chapter of the Occupy movement has been security. It's the number one thing we talk about. We always have problems with stuff being stolen, with violence in the park, with people coming in and abusing our resources that aren't here for the movement. This is an ongoing thing. and it takes so much energy that could be, I feel, channeled in other directions. I want to think about what's going to be best for us to make a difference in the world compared to survival in the park. Now, we're established here. We've been here for many months. A lot of people, I love this place, and I don't want it to go away without any kind of second step put into motion or a replacement for the heart of our movement. My proposal that I'm working on, I've been researching other surpluses of land as well as abandoned storefronts and houses that are owned by the city. I think that I'm going to keep getting that together, and I'll bring it. I'm not going to have a chance to bring it before we meet with the police department before Wednesday, but maybe I can get a temperature check from those that are living here still, because I haven't been for 2 weeks. I've been staying at home. How would you feel about using our park to leverage one of these indoor properties that would obviously be easier to secure, and you know, having the leverage? Like, you want us to leave peacefully, you don't want us seen like Oakland? Well, give us this property that's visible. I want to find a visible location on a main street, you know, and how would people feel about that? Like, I know that it would affect the people who don't have anywhere else to live. I don't want to leave anyone who's worked for the movement high and dry. I think we would also be coming up with solutions for those people to have a place to go besides the homeless shelter. But I think that really, to be more effective and influential on this world movement,
which is why we're here in the first place,
which is why we took occupation, was to present to the public that there is something wrong they need to pay attention to. And I saw a really concerning situation happen when I first got here tonight that makes me think, I mean, and it was just one, and so I can keep into perspective that maybe that's not what happens all the time, but people were making fun of people that were riding crotch rockets on Pacific, and it's like, why are you picking fights with random strangers over their choice of motorcycle? You know, this is not building friends in our community. And if that's what's being portrayed from the park, then no wonder we're not in the public liking right now. And maybe we need to get, I don't know, I just feel like if we had something that we could secure more easily, I think we can leverage the city for that, or at least put a call out and see if there's any private property owners that would be willing to give us a really low rent on something like that. So, I don't know. Temperature check on that?
And you're talking on informational status.
Yeah,
right?
Like, I mean,
Media Island.
Like if anyone went to Media Island in Olympia, I'm looking for something along those lines. A really inviting environment for discussion, solution finding, with internet, with a working kitchen so that we can cook meals for people. I'd really like to see something. And one of the properties that I have in mind is, and it's extreme, but I brought it up before, and McKinley Elementary was shut down this year.
Yep.
There is a completely empty elementary school with a full cafeteria, an auditorium, and classrooms right in the heart of Tacoma.
This one
Paul
put
is
on
next.
Put on step.
There's McKinley
Paul,
Elementary.
Jessica, Amy. Oh, clarification.
Yeah, I am totally down for that. But you gotta remember the fact about, you know, everybody's gonna try to take us down. They're gonna try to, I mean, it's a pre-existing building. There's windows, there's glass, there's all this other stuff we have to worry about for safety precautions. But yes, I am totally down, and I totally get what you're saying, because I've been saying this since like week 3 that I've been in this, that we need a building, at least for the winter. I mean, summer, questionable, can totally work. I mean, we can decorate it however the frick we want. But anyways, I mean, I'm totally down for this. Just, we're going to need to think about it down to the T, because if we leave like one grain of sand open, who the hell knows who's going to try to wiggle into that and just take down the whole sanatorium or whatever.
Joy.
Paul was next.
made it a community center. So this is not something that has never been heard of either in the city of Tacoma.
Could I interrupt really quick?
Yeah.
We also have to remember that the city is part of the state government, which is part of the federal government, and we're not considered a non-profit community organization. We're considered a level 2 terrorist threat. So when it comes down to legal on paper and in the lawyers' heads, it's going to be extremely hard.
Well,
so
that's why I definitely want to talk to the
right.
lawyer that we have commissioned right now and get his viewpoints on this.
We can't
But
just be narrow-minded about community, though.
I'm just saying using the park as leverage.
Right.
Saying you want us to leave, you have no reason for us to leave as of now. They have no reason to make us leave. But say, and they did quote in the paper that the eviction of Occupy, this is what they said, the eviction of Occupy Tacoma will not be as violent and abrasive as those that you may have seen footage of other Occupy camps. If they're so bold as to say that they know we're just going to give up, then they need to be giving us something in return that we find acceptable. And I think we need to be talking about what that is.
I totally agree with your idea, and I completely back you up on it. I would love to help you up until the point where we do Occupy. For sure. For sure.
Well, I say that we get a headquarters that will continue on here in Tacoma while we Occupy. I'm getting a lot of off subject. I'm just saying.
Think about it.
Yesterday, what was brought up yesterday, the #1 problem with that is security.
Right.
And security's been our #1 problem since day one. And now some of the people that worked security all the motherfucking time are some of the people that have been asked to leave for 48 hours. This is not off subject. This is about what we're talking about.
The past 6 days is going to definitely impact the next 6 months. For sure. I completely understand where you're going on that.
Anybody put your hands up so I can stack?
Paul's been waiting to speak.
Paul's been waiting for a long time, Chris.
I know, I was just saying, I need to see a hand so I can sit there and stack Paul, and then...
Well, while I think this is a fine idea and everything, I think we got completely off topic about the violence that went on. And not just yesterday. The day before, when the lock was cut off, the DOT strong box, electrical box, I witnessed a personal attack on Neil by Rob. I won't repeat what he said, but I told Rob, that's a cheap shot even for you, Rob. And the disrespect by these key people. When I first came here, I was approached by Francesca to walk down the sidewalk with her and tell her what my goals or what I wanted to emphasize in Occupy. And I didn't get 2 seconds to respond before she turned around and walked away as if whatever I had to say was meaningless. I've been personally attacked by, not physically, but verbally, by Brian that day. He called me, he told me that Kirk and I were butt-fucking buddies. He told me that we like to suck each other's cocks. Yep. Now that to me is a break in the code of respect of the highest order. Yep. And the last thing I said to him when I left the park that day was, I thought you were a better person. He responded to me by saying, I knew you were a piece of shit the minute I met you. And I said, I know you thought that, but did you ever give me a moment to get to know me? And he stormed off. I called him a
procrastinator.
No, I called him a, oh man.
So what are we gonna do about it? Everybody has problems with these individuals.
There's a stack.
That's been established.
There's a stack.
Okay, I'll Amy, and then you've had your hand up a long time, and then Gumby.
I was just going to say that I like Joy's idea. Obviously, we need to do seriously about security, and we need to start coming up with solutions, because as of right now, I'm not going to come back and stay here with the way things are right now. So we need to come up with a way of how we can get people to feel safe to stay here, or even want to stay here anymore. Like, who is causing, I mean, if the people that are causing the problems are the people that are dealing with security, well then we need to find people that are better to deal with security, because we need to come up with solutions of, there is a code of respect, and I don't want to be staying with people that are treating people like Paul like that. I don't want to feel like anybody else is being personally attacked. That is not what this is about. And so we need to come up with a solution as to, if there are people that need to be evicted, then we need to figure out what's going on with that and have an OA and evict these people, or something, because, you know, we're trying to save the park right now, and I don't see the point in saving the park the way that it is.
Okay, it was Nick.
And then Will.
Alright, Will and me. On the topic of security, why don't we just make a security work group to figure
We've done
it out?
that.
We've tried that.
Let's try it again. And also, here's a bright idea. Why don't we all act like the grown-ass adults we are, be rational about things, and step up for security? And then, as we were talking about the people who are causing things, yes, we need to do an OA, because with Kevin waving hammers and saws in people's faces over a couple of jokes, which yeah, they were out of line, could talk to us, and then we need to we need to at least talk about it as the group about what's going to go down with that. And then I forgot what I was going to say. But yes, we need to figure out group things, or at least people to help security, because like me and Raven lost like what, 3 nights, we're pulling 10 hours on security. I haven't been able to do what I've wanted to do because people bitching about security would refuse to wake up or wouldn't put their name on the board. I've been here for what, 2 weeks, and I've literally pulled 80 hours on security. There is no need for 10-hour shifts. What we need to do is get names up there, and then we also have to, and then as we said, with the code of respect, if you can't act like the mature adults we are all capable of being, there is no need to be there. And as we were all saying, with the shouting into the street, we need to cut that shit out too. Clarification.
If you're not here for the movement, where you don't need to be here.
Yeah, simple as that.
And if you're here for the movement, then that means you have a decent head on your shoulders, and at least you're able to make logical, rational thought. So let's move forward there.
Yes.
Alright, Raven, Raven has his hand up, and then Neil put his hand up.
Yeah, the only thing that I was actually saying was the people that were the problem that are not here right now actually haven't been doing security for the past few days, or even pretty much the past week, except for coming in and wiping people's names off the board and saying they're doing security. Sorry, I really only have one tongue at this moment right now. I thought it's my screw back. Okay.
Neil?
The problem that I'm seeing...
Well, mic check it.
I can't hear you.
Mic check.
Will's
Okay.
not finished.
The people who are not here...
The people who are not here...
The people who are...
Because they were kicked out for 48 hours.
Because they were kicked out for 48 hours.
We're not on security during those times.
We're not on security during those times.
Only 3 people were, which are all right here in this camp right now.
And there are 3 people who are here in this camp right now
that have been doing security during that time.
Have been doing security during that time.
The reason why none of them were ever listed.
The reason why none of them were ever listed
is because, okay, I don't know his real name, but Warlock, Kevin, had wiped them all off the list and then put his name down.
And I was working on it for like a week and a half. Hey man, we got a stack. We got a process.
No. Your name's not up there, you're not
Either way.
working.
What I was trying to say...
I
don't think I need the people's mic. What I was trying to say is the people that were on the list were taken off. There were people that were doing security during that time period. Warlock never did security. He sat in there on the computer, sat out here. Either way, him being not here does not affect our security at all. Having people actually on the list and getting up and being willing to be security and actually putting their number down for what tent they're in so we can actually get them is the problem. That's it.
Neil.
Neil. It's your turn.
Problem that I have with security.
The problem I have with security
is that they have no teeth.
They have no teeth.
If they see an imminent danger, they have no authority to remove the person.
They see imminent
danger, they have no authority to remove the person.
I think that needs to be rectified.
I think that needs to be rectified.
Brett.
I just want to say that if you're proclaiming to be on security and your name is not on that board and shit has happened, we need to know who to go to, what time frame it was, to find out who was on security, who was doing security. Yep. Where were you? Why did this happen? If your name's not on that board and you're claiming to have done security, shit has happened during the time you were doing it. So what's up with that, I mean...
Alright, we have
one. Shit's getting stolen at night.
Jessica, but we have a clarification, and then it goes to Jessica, then
I've
Rich.
seen your guys' security.
I can actually clarify that.
Oh, wait.
I can actually clarify that because of the small amount of staff we've had for security, it is not easy to control and watch every aspect of this park. With 2 people on security. When one person has to watch the media tents at all times because of people who come in here in the middle of the night, and another person has to watch this front region right here to make sure no one goes back there. Someone sneaks in through the back, we can't really do anything, or if someone from the camp steals from somebody else in the camp, we can't really tell that, except for when we're walking around and they can easily hide or be in their tents by then.
Right. Okay, Jessica,
So
Rich,
I would
Paul,
like
Autumn. We had to take walkers.
Well, I wanted him to hear this. But I would like to personally apologize for the times that I have signed up for security and haven't gotten up when I was woken up. I would like to apologize for that. And on that note, I feel that if everyone were to step up right now and to really take this by the horns when it comes to this physical park, I just have a feeling that it's a lost cause. But that's how I'm feeling. I'm really torn. I wish that things didn't have to turn out this way. I wish that I myself personally would have done more to keep this park going and keep it running fluently. And I don't need you laughing behind me. Thank you, rude ass. It's done.
Okay, Rich, Paul,
Yeah, I do have to say
Autumn, and Thorn.
It's kind of a point of order. I think that if you guys are going to have people do security, I think you need more than a dry erase board. That's a common sense thing right there, because anybody can come and wipe your name off there. And then people that are actually doing security don't ever get no recognition for straight rich. I don't know how many times I've woke up in this place and there ain't been nobody out here watching shit.
Yep.
You know? And I don't care what anybody thinks. I've actually sat out there for 3 or 4 hours just because I've been waiting for someone to come on security since I've been here. You know, minus the last week I've been here. But, you know, every other day other than that, I've done security the best I could. So, I think if you guys want to start talking about people not getting recognition, I think you need to straighten that out.
Autumn?
Paul was next.
Paul, Autumn. Goes Paul, Autumn, Thorn.
Well, I gotta say, last night was the first night I felt threatened in this park, security or not. I slept with a stick under the end of my tent, and I fully expected my car to be vandalized when I went out there this morning. What do we do if Brian or Rob or Josh show up in the middle of the night? Am I safe? Because I spoke up against these 3 so-called leaders?
This is kind of disgusting, honestly. There are so many more important things going on.
Yeah.
And as far as issues with security since the beginning, we've had more problems during the fucking daytime than we have at night. You know, things have been stolen while there were 30 people standing out here. You know, it's not like this is all happening at night when we actually have a security shift. The fights, the fights amongst occupiers, that's happening during the day. It's building up. It's animosity and resentment that's just piling on top. And if you guys want to, if we're going to do anything, if we're going to change anything, we have to start being new and better people. Every single one of us, you know?
We are.
We have to. Sleeping here is irrelevant. It's not about sleeping here. Please don't interrupt me, okay? It's be better people. Just be better people. Don't be assholes. You know what's going on. We're here. Dude, can I get some fucking respect from you, please?
One thing is you don't leave fucking pot pipes
Jesus
Christ. In the community tent.
When I got here last night, there were styrofoam trays filled with Chinese food all over the place. You know, this is just, it's a matter of respect for each other. Just don't be disrespectful. If you have a problem with somebody, be an adult. Go to them. Talk to them about it. If you don't feel you can do that on your own, have a mediator. You know, there's how many people standing in this room? I'm sure there's somebody in here that's not going to pick sides that will more than likely not have a problem to go with you and have a discussion with somebody so that you can work it out and move past it so that we can actually accomplish what we're here to do in the first place, which is change the world. So we can change the world, or we can keep bitching at each other for the rest of our fucking lives and then spend the rest of our lives exactly like we have up until this point.
In a FEMA camp.
I got one.
There's clarification from Burning Man, and then your turn.
I know it's kind of a little much to say, and it's gonna touch a nerve on some people, but if you're gonna get in a physical fight, do it on the fucking highway or in front of a cop outside of the park, because it's either say me and Nick go at it, right? Me and Nick go at it. It's not gonna be in here. I'm gonna fight him right in front of a cop. We're both gonna go to jail, or we're gonna go fight in front of traffic on the freeway and get run the fuck over. We both have the same destiny. We both have the same consequences for it. Why drag other people into it? Get in a fight in front of a cop. Literally, go find a fucking cop and fight and kill each other right in front of the cop, or do it on the highway. Yeah, just don't do it here. And if you're gonna not do it here, just don't bring it back.
Yep.
That's why I say do it on the highway or in front of a cop, because you're not coming back.
Or just don't do it at all.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the whole freaking ultimatum.
All right, Rich and anybody else? Hands up so I can
have
stack
one
it.
thing to say. You know,
Rich and then Joy.
as far as security and fighting's concerned, yeah. Those people that actually did that aren't even here. You know, I think that they need to hear some of this too, because that's important.
It's video recorded. They can go back and.
Well, I don't think they're actually watching it right at the moment. Another thing is also as far as people not being here to talk about security, I think that they need to actually live here to actually see what people are actually doing. You know?
I lived here for 2.5 months.
That doesn't mean you're here now, though.
That's what you're getting at.
Not
Not here
here
now, though.
because of and I'm disgusted with what's going on now.
And I
Mic check!
Mic check!
We have a system!
We're here.
We have a system.
Point of our being here.
Well, I'm trying to help that
That's what's
system.
important.
You understand what I'm saying?
How long have you been gone, Rich? Seriously.
Probably about, I don't know, 3-4 days. Yeah, and I've been here more than that since I got back. So, you know, and I do believe that if somebody's going to sit there and talk about security, I think they actually need to actually attend security to find out what people are actually doing.
No matter if they live
That might be a
here,
good
they're
idea.
still occupiers and they still have an
Okay, we have Joy,
I've been out there
Thorne,
more than I care to count.
Amy, but we
Trying to
also
help
have a confrontation over here once he's done.
I'm done.
The point is, there's 4 people that have been asked to leave for 48 hours. One of them took it on his own. The other 3 were asked to leave.
One of them was voted out permanently.
Okay, one of them was voted out permanently. 2 were asked to leave for 48 hours. And I think what we need to do right now, so that we can draw this meeting to an end, is decide whether we are going to wait till tomorrow when they return and have voting then on whether they return or not after their 48-hour period, or we vote on it now. So process says that we wait 48 hours and they get to come have a say. I don't understand this permanently voted Kirk out, because that's not the process that was ever approved. The process is you are asked to leave for 48 hours and you come back and talk about it with the group, and the group votes on whether you have truly felt sorry for your actions and you will not do them again, that you had, during that 48-hour period, you're supposed to be coming up with solutions for anger problems and ways for you to deal with that if that's what caused it. I think that the process should stay the same for everyone. I think Kirk should be contacted, and tomorrow at GA we'll have tomorrow at 7 we'll have an OA, and we will discuss this with them, and as process goes, if they do not attend that, then they lose their opportunity to come back. And I mean, the 4 people that were asked to leave all know our process. They've been here long enough. They know that they need to be here tomorrow. If anybody wants to reach out to them individually and remind them of process, I think that that would not be a bad thing. If they truly want to be a part of the movement, they need to be able to come tell us why. That's the process we agreed on.
When it happened, so he got his 48 hours yesterday, and Rob left once the occurrence ended, so he only got 24 hours because he left to do his 48 hours willingly. So I just figured I'd let everybody know that Kevin is to come back tomorrow, the following day, and Rob is to come back tomorrow, is what was voted on.
What about Kirk and Brian?
Kirk was permanently barred because of a accusation that shouldn't be said or claimed on anybody, and spread like a really bad rumor about them.
Like
he ended up claiming or going around saying that somebody was a sex offender. And I'm not saying a name at this point.
Hang on a second. Didn't you say that people were saying that about him?
No, that was later. That was the next day.
That was later. And I didn't hear the later part with him being accused of doing the same thing, but he was going around person to person saying that a certain individual here was a sex offender when...
Kirk was doing that?
Yes, Kirk was.
I have a clarifying on this. The only way for someone to even remotely know any of that information is whether they have a fucking badge. Because it's not public fucking knowledge.
It is public knowledge.
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, not on closed case, it's not.
Clarifying on that.
Mic check!
Mic check!
We have a process. Use it.
Well, I wasn't done. This person's file was ended up being sealed because it was an accusation that was not true, and it was already gone through by courts. This individual found out about it and without proper information and was spreading it around the park, and that's why he got permanently evicted.
A sealed file, it can only be opened or looked at in the eyes of a law enforcement or official.
Hold on a second.
Therefore, a sealed file or not.
There's a process. Hold on a second. It was, I believe, Jessica, then...
Actually, it was Amy, Jessica, Thorne, and then Burning Man.
Jessica has a clarification up, and so does Thorne.
Yes, but Amy...
Can everybody calm down a little bit?
Hey, I want to do an exercise real quick. Everybody, take a deep breath.
Deep.
And wiggle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wiggle it!
Does everybody know what clarify means? It's simply to clarify.
Nobody else is gonna wiggle?
I was wiggling. It definitely will help ease tensions and relax everyone.
I just laughed.
He's actually wiggling over there.
It's fun.
I'll do the twist-a-flex wiggle.
You look like you have Tourette's, dude.
No, it looks like I'm fucking smoking that big old fucking shard and can't do it. Oh my god!
60s
Hey, did that release enough serotonin to the air? Because if not, I got a whole lot more wiggle. Wiggle it! Wait, hold on. For GA humor process. That's why man can't dance.
No, it's why man thinks he can dance.
You want me to do a KK monkey dance?
KK monkey dance.
I gotta pull up my pants.
I have a quick clarifying statement. As for files being sealed and being able to only be seen by people with a badge.
Who cares?
Who gives a shit? As for files being sealed and only being able to seen by a badge, Kirk said the judge told him that.
Kirk said the judge told him that.
And as for other things not being able to be seen by the public,
As for other things not being able to be seen by the public,
I am registered on the Pierce County website.
I am registered on the Pierce County website
For any sex offender.
That moves around
Within 5 to 20 miles, I believe, from here.
within 5 to 20 miles from here.
I get an update on all of that.
I get an update on all of that.
I get their name.
I get their name.
Their picture.
I get their picture.
Where they're moved to.
Where they're moved to.
And sometimes what they did.
And sometimes what they did.
Thorn.
No, I'm not a registered sex offender. Not what I was trying to say at all.
Oh, Amy, then Thorn.
Just to shed a little light on the subject.
Mic check!
Just to show a little light on the subject, what had happened with Kurt was that he was causing problems within the camp for about a week, and they kept asking him, you know, hey, can you stop that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And he was just completely and totally, you know, like fuck off to everybody who had asked him to do anything. That when it came to, like, you know, hey, could you leash your dog? He's getting, you know, angry with another person's dog, whether it be Kraken or anyone. Okay, he was also not respecting other people's wishes when he was asked to do. I don't remember what exactly he was asked to do, but he wasn't respecting their wishes with that. Plus, when he was asked to leave with the confrontation, he was very very aggressive against it. And so they voted him out to permanently be voted out because he had completely and totally disobeyed, or well, not disobeyed the rules, but disrespected other people's wishes in that sort of aspects.
Okay, Amy, then Brett.
I have a few things. First of all, I really would wish that people would stop acting like people that haven't been here lately are not part of, like, the movement, because that is, feel like it's directed. I haven't been here lately. My reasons for not being here are definitely being validated tonight, but there's a lot of things that I do not being here, so I just really wish those comments would stop because it's hurting my feelings. And then second of all, can we figure out, like, I think tomorrow is when everybody that was asked to leave for 48 hours will be returning.
It's not tomorrow, it's tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Okay, then the day after tomorrow, we need to, like, set up some...
There's some tomorrow and some the day after.
Because, and then I'm personally kind of upset with Kurt being evicted because I didn't think that you could just evict somebody. I thought that was something that had to go to the GA. You can't just ask somebody to leave. And I almost feel like it was, like he was kicked out because somebody else just didn't like him or something. And that's kind of what the vibe I've been getting from talking to some other people as well.
Thank you. Right.
And that is just ridiculous. I feel like he's been personally attacked numerous times since he's been here. And I've spoken to him personally. He's a very intelligent person. He knows a lot of things. He's done a lot of things involved with the movement. He's given me a lot of research that he's done or stuff he's been working on. And just because some people don't like his attitude, then I don't understand how that would be that. And then as far as an act of violence towards him, I'm just confused. So can we set up a time that, because I almost feel weird talking about all these people that aren't here, like maybe set up a time when we can set up another meeting to where they're all here and talk about it, or what? I'm just at a loss. Like I feel like it's complete chaos down here. Sorry.
Raven?
Okay,
clarify
the clarification is not a personal opinion.
No, it's not a personal opinion.
I know, I'm not telling you, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I think I can clarify that, what you were asking. You were wondering why it happened and stuff like that and stuff and all those. The main problem that was to do with that, with Kirk, was the fact that he was requested to explain that his animal, his dog, was not allowed to be in certain areas like the kitchen, stuff like that. That when certain officials were here, that the dog needed to be kept at his side. There were several other codes of conduct that he had broken as well. And I do agree the way in which he was treated before he left here was bad. But the reason why it was voted on at the OA for him to be permanently removed was not because of some way of how people felt towards him, but for his own personal safety. That he was not to come back until at least a long time.
So
that we
what
can
you just
ensure
said
that
is
he
the
is
park
safe.
is not safe.
No, for him.
There were.
It is not safe for him here at this time because there are people that just that.
So maybe
After
those
what
are the
happened to
people
us-
that are the problem.
And until that
Clearly.
problem can be fixed, it is not safe for him here at this time.
To permanently ban him because
No,
he is
I don't
in
agree with
threat
that.
is the wrong people we're
could I
focusing
please finish this? I actually fully do not agree with the fact that he is permanently banned. I don't think it should be a permanent ban, just a long-term removal until the problems can be dealt with.
on. Will hostilities subside?
Yes.
I think, you know what?
Hold on.
Burning Man.
Hold on a second. Neil had a clarification.
No. Process is gone. Don't worry about it.
Well, then
Process
stick your
disappeared.
freaking hand up instead of putting it up long enough for.
It's been up.
Okay, well,
Then say what
you,
you have
it's
to
all
say.
yours, Neil.
First of all, as far as him being voted out, or as far as him being kicked out because of a personal opinion, not true. We did hold an OA. He had the opportunity to step up and say something and chose to stand back there and shout obscenities at people.
Okay.
I was here when he was given that opportunity. I gave him that opportunity, and all he did was shout obscenities at people.
I think we've skewed off from the real topic.
So,
I have a question about them.
I have a clarification about that.
Okay, well, we have Burning Man who had a clarification. So one clarification. So Burning Man, Autumn, Paul, Dylan, Joy, David. Anybody else? Put their hands up now so I can stack it now.
I was already called. It was going second from whoever.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, I don't want him. Lost process.
Okay, clarification.
I got
So we have a process set in motion for a reason, right? Then why aren't we using it? And okay, raise your hand if you're a minor here. I don't see.
How is this clarifying?
Huh?
18.
18 and young under.
I don't see a minor in here. So why does it really matter with accusations of pedophilia? It doesn't matter. There's
yes,
nothing.
it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
How?
Because I was molested and raped as a child. I don't want to hear about it.
Okay,
Well, I don't even want the conversation coming up.
Mike, check!
Process.
All right. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, I don't even know what I was trying to say.
Doesn't matter.
What I'm trying to say is, we have a point of process, right? Let's use it, or just say fuck it and leave. That's the only thing keeping us here is process. I'm done. I'm done. Honestly, I'm just gonna shut my fucking mouth.
Autumn.
First of all, I haven't heard any reason yet that is that seems anywhere near our process as far as permanently kicking somebody out. I have heard nothing that tells me that Kirk deserved to be permanently banned from the park. Second, I have a friend who was 18 years old and dated a girl 6 months younger than him and is now a sex offender for the rest of his life because her parents didn't like him. Okay, it's very easy to get things misconstrued. If you know what I mean. You can't jump to conclusions. You can't make assumptions about people unless you know their story. And you know, I'm not saying that it's okay for Kirk to run around and say the things he was saying. It's just as bad as somebody else slandering somebody else. However, we're still talking about, you know, where's the definition and reason behind permanent ban. And I totally agree with Joy. If he's being asked to never come back here because of how is this not point of process? We're talking about Kirk. This is exactly what we're talking about. I agree with Joy. If he's threatened by being here, then who is here that we really need to be focusing on? Right. Because obviously somebody. If he was asked to leave because he was in danger, then that problem is still here. So
the point of process I was trying to say is we keep hearing about Kirk. What about the other individuals?
The other individuals all went through the process according to what it's always been, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
My turn.
Goes back to Joy, Paul, Dylan, Rich. So.
The reason we keep talking about Kirk is because he's the only one that has been given a permanent ban that hasn't been given the opportunity to go through the process that we came up with as occupation work group, as at our OA. We went through weeks and weeks of discussion on how we were going to evict people and how we were going to make it fair. And my question is, was Kirk given 48-hour notice, or was he told, you're being kicked out right now forever?
We got both.
Yeah.
The two.
Was he given 48-hour notice?
No.
Then he was not put through the process that we came up with as a group to fairly try our peers. Okay? He needs to get that opportunity to come back and explain his behavior and talk to the group about it and how he can improve and what the problem was, and these conversations to help individuals grow rather than turn our backs on them. Part of this movement, as was covered earlier in this conversation, is every single one of us becoming a better, stronger, more caring person. Learning to put community above ourselves. Kicking somebody out without giving them an opportunity to leave, calm down, assess the situation in their own mind, and come back and have a civil conversation, coming at them after putting a knife in their tent and expecting them to be calm and have a level-headed conversation is ludicrous. Not one person in this world would be calm enough to have a civil conversation after going through something like that. All I'm saying, we keep talking about Kirk. There needs to be no permanent ban on him. He needs to be given fair process that we give everyone else. The craziest of the crazies, Harvey, Greg, we gave them all 48 hours and an opportunity to come back and talk about it. You know, I just don't see why he doesn't get that right when...
Does anybody have Kirk's number?
I just called him. He doesn't have a phone, but you can leave him messages.
And then my other point is, Rob is gonna have his conversation tomorrow. The other 3 the day after.
Rob was tonight.
Do I have to raise my hand to say I agree with you?
Oh.
Okay, so
like this?
Oh, yeah, like this. I gotta jump in for stacking real quick.
Paul was next.
It was Paul. It was Paul, Dylan, Rich, Burning Man.
Can I get my question answered clearly? Because
Yes.
I have a bunch of people answering it, and I want everybody to be clear.
Okay.
When is Rob's 48 hours up?
Tomorrow.
Tonight.
Tonight. But he was stuck at his house without a ride, so he wrote on the Facebook that he'd be here tomorrow.
So Rob's gonna be here tomorrow. He couldn't make it tonight. We can be understanding. These are people that we should be caring about because they care about the same big picture as us.
Okay.
Okay? So when is Kirk's? He doesn't have a 48 hours.
Yes, he does.
Schedule.
We voted on it yesterday on Theo. No,
You all
we did the
voted
48
to
hours,
permanent
then the
ban.
permanent ban after we made that bullshit amendment.
Well, if he was permanently banned, then he doesn't have a 48 hours.
After that bullshit amendment, that's when it was
I
voted
don't
to.
know what bullshit amendment you're talking
The
about.
amendment which made him permanently banned.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I
So
want to
he
get
got
through
a
the list
48
here.
Okay.
So Kevin.
Tomorrow.
Kevin is tomorrow. So far, Rob, Kirk doesn't have one. Kevin tomorrow.
Kevin Tuesday.
Kevin is tomorrow.
Kevin's
But
tomorrow.
you're coming back on Tuesday.
Okay.
Kevin is Tuesday. Rob is tomorrow. Kirk would be tomorrow.
Yep.
And I haven't heard anybody mention anything about Brian
And
being
Brian.
asked to leave
Brian,
for 48
Brian and Josh.
Not really out. Josh is tomorrow as well.
Brian and
Josh
Josh.
volunteered. He wasn't asked.
And he left yesterday?
Yes.
So his 48 hours will be tomorrow. And Brian.
I have a
Brian was never asked to leave or
I have a
anything.
clarification
All right.
on Brian. Brian was the one spearheading everyone's eviction, and he was the one that, and nobody voted
He came up with the
for
permanent ban.
his eviction, even though he was right by Josh's side
Was it
the
discussed?
entire time.
No.
Because Brian was spearheading the whole thing, so
Okay.
everyone was following Brian.
So this brings me to the point that I was hoping I would get to. We need to talk about Brian getting a 48-hour eviction and scheduling his group conversation for 48 hours from today, since this is the first time it's been brought up. That's what I'm proposing now, that he be on the block with everybody else if he was involved. So I see lots of B's, I see lots of twinkle fingers.
Well, hold on.
Okay, well,
We got Paul.
whatever.
We got Paul. Paul.
I think we need to include Francesca. Francesca came charging up through the camp, threatening to kick Kirk's ass. And then Brian followed up saying, "Oh, you want to fight my woman?" And took his shirt off and had to be restrained by half a dozen people. I stood back there with Kirk. I stood there and I watched this Lord of the Flies crap happen, and he never raised his voice when I was standing next to him. It wasn't until he was outside the park and walking away that he responded with obscenities. He feared for his life. These people were out of control, and they need to be dealt with.
Hey,
Thank you.
let's keep the energy positive.
That's what we're talking about right now.
Dylan.
Is dealing with
Emphasis needs to be made on a couple people that made the same point. Kirk was definitely addressed in the wrong manner. He was never given anything other than a suggestion to come join the GA until eventually he was demanded that he comes out to join the GA. Then they slashed his tent open. Like we said earlier, you're not allowed to think rationally after somebody holds a knife up against you or holds a gun at your face. You know, try doing that. I challenge anyone to do it. He was on his way out the tent, and he still didn't even want to fight anybody. He's barefoot. He goes to put his shoes on. He's still not trying to fight anybody. And then Josh approaches him, antagonizing him until the point where they started throwing fists at each other. What could you expect? I opposed the eviction. I opposed the amendment, but it was just looked over because minorities, that happens. Definitely needs to be addressed that Brian should be dealt with in the same manner that everybody else was.
All right. Zach, you haven't spoke yet, so I'm gonna let you go, and then
It goes actually.
Rich was next.
It goes Rich, and then it goes Brett, Steven.
Everybody knows me as Peanut here.
So I'm only going to say one thing, you know, it doesn't matter how much diplomacy one has. And because you've got it doesn't matter how much diplomacy one has in a situation where there's an SO running rampant, if that should ever happen, i.e., I'm going to take the matter in my own hands if it ends up against me with, you know, my old lady. I don't care what people think. That's above and beyond anything that anybody could ever understand.
Yep.
And there's no amount of diplomacy that can erase that problem and give them back their life.
The point is, it shouldn't get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we hope. We pray.
Yeah.
Okay. With you guys talking about it, that kind of brings it on a little bit, don't you think?
We need to add Francesca. If she made a verbal threat, that's against the code of respect. That needs to be added to the 48-hour time, as well as Brian.
We have Brett, and then Jessica, and then I have something to say as well.
That's my whole point.
Oh, Steven.
I just forgot what I was going to say, so it's alright.
Steven, go ahead.
No, I just forgot what I was going to say.
We'll put you back in line. If you can remember what you said, let me know, and then we'll throw you back into the after Jessica. If that's
It was
okay.
actually pretty important because when he
Oh wait.
Dylan.
Let's Brett.
Yeah.
You can go after.
When Duke came out, Duke didn't give Duke enough time. He came out swinging, and I saw that for myself. Yeah, he was talking shit to him. So he went back in the tent and got his shoes. He was like, well, now I got my shoes on, so now you want to go at it. We'll duke it out. I heard that for myself. And then he got in some other gentleman's face, and Duke was trying to get him out of his face. And he was, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was calling him every name in the book, talking about, you want to get in my face, we'll fucking fight, come on, let's do this. And he was in everybody's face, and we're all trying to calm him down. So, personally...
I call BS on that.
Who?
BS. That's bullshit.
I heard
That's bullshit.
Who was in everybody's face?
Alright.
Okay, Brett.
I thought we're going to vote.
No, hold
I
on.
want clarifying really quick.
Okay,
and then I'm sorry to interject again, but regardless, if you have a knife come in your tent and you are called out, you're not going to be thinking rationally.
Right.
Okay? Regardless, our process for any violation of code of respect other than a direct act of violence, meaning actually contacting somebody, is a 48-hour timeout and then a discussion with the group on your behavior and how it was detrimental or could be detrimental to the big picture of the movement. Okay? He was not given these processes, point blank.
Yep.
How are we any better than the NDAA and indefinite detention if we don't follow these processes and give people a fair chance to explain their side of the situation? I think what we need to do is focus on getting these times scheduled that these people can come and have the group conversation if they so choose. If they pass up that opportunity, then we know that their commitment is not to the movement and they will have to move on because that's our process. What we need to do right now is figure out who all's involved, who all needs a timeout, and when they're going to come have a group conversation about their behavior. And that includes Kirk. He deserves the same treatment as everybody else.
Okay, we have two clarifications, but then we have Brett and
whose arm is falling off.
yeah. Let Brett finish. Let Brett do his thing.
It's about what she just said.
Oh, okay. We have a clarifying about what Joy had just said. Go ahead.
It was a clarification that I literally just remembered because I found this out in Seattle. Even according to Washington state laws on it, you know how the police, when they come up to somebody to wake them up in the morning, they kick their feet and then step back? Because even by Washington state law, the first 15 to 30, maybe 45 minutes you are startled out of your sleep, you are not legally within your right mind or accountable for what you do. That's it, really.
Okay.
First 45 seconds.
Burning Man.
Should I apologize first? Or should I say
Just say what. But he has to clarify. He had to clarify.
Yeah.
People don't know what clarifying
Okay.
means. It's not
Just hurry up and say what you got.
No, I just want to apologize for speaking out of my ass on that whole closed whatever. Sorry
That's
for.
not a clarifying.
He was just wanting to apologize. He needed to say it.
And then I have one other thing to say.
He could be on
Now,
track with a regular slam dunk.
Right. I also wanted to clarify on Joy's. I agree with you, but also they should have a chance to explain themselves before we start attacking them with our opinions.
Okay, that is a personal opinion, though.
Is it?
It is.
That's not a
okay.
clarifying statement.
Next time you gotta keep.
Okay. Yeah. I just.
Okay.
So Brett.
Okay. All I want to say is that when Kurt came here, myself and a few other individuals are the ones that accepted him in here. Other people put a bullseye on him the very next day upon them finding out they didn't like him from the get-go. And these people were involved in his eviction. And I personally witnessed 2.5 weeks ago, Kurt was hounded at a location downtown by members of Occupy. Are you a cop? Are you wearing a wire? What's your badge number? They kept badgering him and badgering him and badgering him. You know, Kurt's had this crap thrown on him since he's basically gotten here. People have been after him. And, you know, he's found a few people in here that he could actually go and legitimately have conversations with, which, you know, I think kept him here, you know. But he also knows that people were badgering, you know, I mean, people had something on against him from the get-go, and I haven't seen what it was. I think it's his intellect. I think they're afraid of how smart he is. You know, that it's gonna bring, you know, them down a notch, and, you know, intellectually, you know, because Kurt may have more intellect than them. That's all I'm saying about that.
Okay, are we gonna vote?
Hold on, I have one thing to say.
No, I was.
Okay, Jessica, then me, and then Autumn.
My question is, with Brian and Francesca being gone easily for 48 hours on their own accord, especially, you know, now that this is going on, they've been with Josh while Josh has been doing his 48-hour eviction. Do you think that's going to pose a problem? Like, oh, well, I was gone for 48 hours after my issue happened.
Nope. It's a vote that needs to happen, and if they never said they were voluntarily leaving, then the situation's just being brought up, and I think it needs to be voted on because that's what the process is.
Okay. Thank you.
My opinion.
If we move forward from today with Brian and Francesca, making today the beginning of their 48-hour period, we can contact them. It's not like we can't. And we're not saying they don't get to come and speak their side. Of course, in 48 hours, they'll be more than welcome to do so, you know. But they can't be, you know, whether they left of their own accord and are going to stay gone longer than 48 hours or not. 48 hours from today, they need to come and talk to us, right? At the OA is the process.
Well, since our OAs were done away with, I tried to bring them back, but nobody was interested, so I don't know.
Excuse me, as a timekeeper, we're running on our 2 hours.
It's okay. I mean, we're all here. Might as well just continue.
So we're losing people fast.
Some of us got to get up at 4.
What's happening?
And Cameron was just getting dropped off. Okay, as far as what I have to say is...
Oh, thank you.
Oh. Let Neil go.
He was next on the stack.
Chris was on stack.
Yeah, I was actually on the stack. But
Here's a bit of a question for consideration. We've been griping about process. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't part of that process that the individual is in attendance at the time of the voting for their timeout?
Clarify. No, because when this initially became a problem, when this was initially brought up and this process was actually worked out, the 2 weeks that Joy's talking about, the people that were involved in that initial incident were gone already, because I don't remember, I feel like it was Harvey or Shotzi. And Harvey was in jail and Shotzi had gone to the hospital, and that was what initiated the process. But it was definitely supposed to be, they were notified the day that their 48 hours took place.
Yeah, I remember that.
And in those cases, they were incapable of attendance at the time. You know, had they been capable of it, would they not have been given the opportunity?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean.
So why can't we grant them the same privilege?
You mean Brian and Francesca?
Exactly.
Well.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Autumn. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's kind of the discussion really.
As far as this is how I feel. Brian. Okay, I'm not clarifying. I'm just gonna. I was on stack, but I was being nice and letting everybody else go before me. Is what I'm gonna say.
Okay, just go.
Brian, the actions that he has displayed in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, has been deplorable. Brian has called out people. He is now. Do not get me wrong. I like Brian. Brian is a good guy from what I have got to know of him. So this is not. Yeah, I know, Paul. I'm sorry. I can't say anything as far as like his personality. You know, I can only say what I know of him. But from what I've seen, Francesca has pulled herself away from the park, has pulled herself away from helping with the park or be part of the park. Brian has done the same, has pulled himself away from the park, from doing things about the park or with the park. And now, Josh, on the other hand, no offense, I've known Josh more years than anybody else in this fucking room knows of Josh. Okay? Josh is a leader, but he also is a follower.
Toady.
Huh?
Toady.
Yeah. Now, the thing is Brian and Francesca have removed themselves from the park, therefore is removing other people from the occupation park itself. I.e. Josh, Tristan, and everybody else who's willing to follow along. Josh, on the other hand, I feel needs to be... He's broken one of the most major conduct rules we have, which is a no fucking physical violence whatsoever in any nature or nature or actions. I.e., I see it as an imminent threat the moment a knife got pulled out and got stabbed through a tent. Because what would have happened if Kirk had gotten stabbed? Because I know if I went up to Amy's tent with a knife and plunged it into her one-man tent and she's in it, it's a 50-50 shot whether I'm going to get tent or skin. Now, what if Josh had stabbed Kirk pretty bad? Are we going to sit here and pussy fucking foot around the fact that Josh gets a 48-hour, reprieve and then come back?
Chris. Everybody gets the 48 hours. That's
I don't.
We're not
I
going to
don't
be talking
feel.
about Josh and Kirk's situation until they're here at the 48 hours.
I don't feel Josh should be given a 48-hour reprieve. I don't feel that he should be admitted back in.
That's what we're going to discuss. I'm with you.
That's
he has that opportunity at his 48 hours when he comes back.
I'm gonna let you all know now. I'll let you all.
Mike check.
Mike check. I'll let you all know now. Y'all confront Josh on the matter. I hope you all ready for a nice little fight, because it doesn't matter what any of you guys are gonna say to him, or try to explain to him about the situation, about his actions, that it's going to change the situation. The moment you come up and go, Josh, we need to discuss this, he's going to try and rationalize and try to defend it in his own way. Does not matter. If we come at him as
It's our process.
the process is it's going to get violent.
Well, that's how the process goes. If he gets violent, then obviously he's going to be asked to leave. But we have to, that's the process, is after 48 hours he comes back and we discuss it. If people decide he wants to be evicted, then he gets evicted. But that's how the process goes.
Check out.
Clarifying.
Hold on.
I have a note clarifying thing here really quick, because I'm putting these notes on the website for the GA. Just want to clarify that one of the things I said was Kirk was asked to permanently leave the occupation and it was not done in the proper process that we have established, and we are trying to contact him to inform him that he is welcome to come to the GA or an OA at the park, and given the chance to go through the proper process, his eviction is not valid.
Yes.
I agree.
Now, me on the other hand, there was a situation 2.5 days ago that involved me. Oh, hold on.
There's clarification on the subject that we were just talking about.
Okay, but I'm also clarifying something too, because I actually follow along in that route. Something happened a couple days ago that I personally took a 48-hour walk off. Dave can verify that. Dave actually asked me to just take a walk off her property, go get my head together, go cool off and whatnot. Now, I took it upon myself to stay gone for 48 hours, and at the end of my 48 hours, I came back. Now, that was on my own accord. Now, should I be subjected to the same thing? Yes, I should be. I actually should have to attend an OA or GA and you know, say my piece on the matter. However, same thing goes for everybody else in this process. Rob, he admitted his fault from the get-go and left on his own accord. Okay? Kevin, on the other hand, decided to dick around for an extra day here, then leave. Now, mind you, Kevin and Rob obviously are not going to be able to be here in the same fucking park because of a fucking restraining order that was initiated by Kevin and Kirk. Kirk and Kevin went up to the courthouse to get a restraining order on Rob, not only on Rob, but as well as Occupy Park.
They can't do that. That
They
doesn't
did.
make any sense.
They did.
It says in the restraining order that he's not allowed to come to Occupation Park because that seems fucking stupid.
Go ahead, Dave. You know that one better.
I did not see the restraining order. It said that it says 21st and the property at 21st and
So, therefore, Rob and Kevin are not going to be able to coincide again in the same location as far as here because of IE actions. Now, Kevin, on the other hand, has made it clear that he has no problem being a rebel-rouser. He has no problem getting up in your face and telling you how it is. Brian has displayed the same things about getting up in your face and telling you like it is. To go back to what Brian did, he verbally attacked Rich's girlfriend in the same manner. Okay? Verbally. I know if somebody verbally attacks Stephanie, and if I know if it's not true, I'm going to blow it off. But whatever was said, it just defeats the purpose. Rob, Kevin, Brian, Josh, Tristan, because Tristan follows right along with that group, as well as Francesca.
That would be guilty by association. And Tristan's name doesn't need to be on the list.
Okay, well then Tristan's name doesn't get, well, okay, you're right. I'm sorry, I was just throwing it all because it's all one collective. These 5 individuals need to be spoken to in the same process and manner, but in the same sense, should we talk to them or give them those options when they have pretty much have removed themselves from this movement? No offense, let's just keep it real. They'd rather worry about peddling off whatever they can peddle off than worry about what's going on here at the park.
How do you know that? Do you know what they're doing when they're not here?
Yeah, they're going in the tent and freaking not coming out.
Point
in
your process.
Maggie, go ahead.
On the whole Josh thing and the process of eviction and whatnot, isn't it stated in the code of conduct a physical contact or a physical action upon somebody, like stabbing into somebody's tent? Wouldn't that be an automatic ban?
Yes.
Because I thought that physical fighting or physical altercation meant that there was no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You're banned.
We voted on it. Sorry.
In response to what Gumby said, yes, they deserve the process. We cannot just up and kick somebody out without the process. That's why we developed the process. We need to just bring this meeting to an end. We are beating a dead horse at this point. We are going over the same people and the same issues. We need to give notification today to the people who were not served their 48-hour timeout notification. That would be Brian and Francesca were not previously informed, or it wasn't previously discussed their behavior. Anybody have any direct responses to my proposal that everybody gets a 48-hour process, everybody gets a timeout, everybody who is involved with this will have a chance to come speak their mind there and defend themselves and talk to the group, and we can save these conversations to have with them present, because we've covered it more than once so far this evening.
Is anybody in concurrence with doing what she said?
Alright, Brett.
We just got to make sure that basically everybody's here. You know, everybody here is there. I mean, we got to try to make that a point, I think, put an emphasis on everybody trying to be there during these processes.
So, tomorrow, let's go over this again so we can make sure the note taker has it.
Say what he has to say. He's had his arm up for like 10 minutes.
Actually, I was doing the vote
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I was doing
Because
the vote too.
She said what I was going to say. Get back to Brian and Francis.
Alright, so I see nothing but V's, no more comments. Let's put it out on paper. Who is going to have, whose conversation we're going to have when? Tomorrow is Ross, correct? Tuesday is going to be Brian, Francesca, Kevin, Kirk, Josh.
No, I have one question. I actually have one question. What if we put these notices out about to have the discussion with certain individuals? What if they don't show up? Does that automatically take automatic guilt? And
that is what our process is. Our process is we have a discussion, we notify individuals of a 48-hour timeout. This is considered notification. People personally reaching out to these people would also be beneficial so that they are aware, because we're not trying to be unfair and not give them a chance. The point of this is to give them a chance to talk about to give them a chance to grow and learn. So, I lost my train of thought.
I think you covered everyone.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that needs to be given a 48-hour timeout that I did not include on this list? No.
I would like to read what I wrote for the notes, because it's going to be posted on the website after this, so I just want to make sure that is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I already read the one about Kirk. You were in here for that?
Yes.
Okay, it says Kirk was asked to permanently leave the park, and it was not done in the proper process that we have established as a National Assembly. We are trying to contact him to inform him that he is welcome to come to a GA or an occupation work group meeting, occupation assembly at the park, and have the opportunity to go through the proper process that everyone is entitled to. His permanent eviction is not valid. Then Rob and Kevin were asked to leave for 48 hours. They need to attend the next GA or occupation work group to discuss and state their case and participate in a vote to see if they will be welcomed back into Occupation Park following their 48-hour ban. Josh voluntarily left for 48 hours. He needs to attend the next GA, the same thing I just said. Francesca made verbal threats and violated the code of respect and was not asked to leave at the time. Brian made verbal threats and was involved in another situation that broke the code of respect. He was not asked to leave at the time. We are going to have a discussion involving everyone involved to discuss all these violations of code of respect and addressing why process was not followed in an eviction and 48-hour timeout process.
Clarifying, Rob actually left on his voluntarily after the conflict between Kevin and himself, so he didn't get asked to leave, he voluntarily.
So Kevin and Kirk were the only ones that were actually asked to leave?
They were the only ones that were actually asked to leave, yes.
So it's fine.
Oops, sorry, Adam.
I would like to initiate the 48-hour timeout for Brian and Francesca tonight.
Okay. So let's put it on
they
that,
don't
and I can add it
necessarily. The process does not state that the people have to be present for the timeout to be initiated. They have to be present for it for after the timeout. They have to be present. So, all those, I'm just going to call for a vote. All those in favor of Brian and Francesca.
Separately.
Okay, all those in favor of Brian being initiated a 48-hour timeout starting tonight, ending at the GA on Tuesday. All those in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Milkkeeper. All those opposed to Brian's 48-hour eviction? None. Are there any abstentions? 4, 5 abstentions. And are there any blocks? There is no blocks. I agree. I was going to do a head count. How many people are in here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 18 people in here and 5 people abstained. So we're going to, I asked that anyone who abstained to please clarify.
That math does not make sense. You said there were 15 people that voted for?
No, 18.
No. That's not what I said.
15
She said, yeah, if there's, that doesn't work.
It's a rotating room right now, so it's really hard to get a percentage. I'd say we definitely have more than 50% in favor of this, but there's also a 20%, over 20% abstaining, which means they need to ask anybody who abstained to please explain why they abstained. I abstained because I'm calling process.
Cameron, why did you abstain?
Why did I abstain?
Yeah.
I wasn't here for the whole GA, so I have no right to vote for anything. Oh, I was here for the incident?
We're talking
That's
about
what's going on.
the code of respect was violated.
Okay, in that case, yeah, I'm another voting for him having a 48-hour leave. I didn't know it was being brought up.
If the process is as it stands and the code of respect was broken by both of these individuals, why is there even a vote as to whether or not they're asked to leave?
The vote is whether or not a violation occurred. So we're voting on whether or not these people here that are the embodiment of our occupation individual here at the park feel that Brian violated the code of respect.
But if there was a physical contact and there was verbal threat of violence, there's no question. So we shouldn't need to vote on that. It was either it happened or it didn't.
We voted on
We just spent 2 hours talking about whether or not it happened.
All right, well, we got the explanation for our abstentions. Is there anyone else abstaining that wanted to speak? No. So it passes.
Just
whether we needed to vote on it or not, it passed, and as of now, Brian is on a 48-hour timeout.
Just one note. You gestured in my direction when you said that this counts as notice. The live stream may or may not have been working this whole time. And this will may take up to 48 hours to get online. So.
Okay. Well,
I've got it in the notes. I'm going to put it on the website right now.
Okay.
Because we're done voting.
And I'm sure there's individuals here that will reach out to these people.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah.
Me and Brett actually, we need to know if somebody can go back over 08.
Hold on, mic check!
Mic check!
It'll be your turn in just a second.
We would like to know if somebody is able to skim through the notes taken at OA's, because I know this was noted. And voted possibly by Francesca and voted on any direct act of violence. It was an immediate expulsion out of the park. It was voted on. We voted on it. We took notes on it, and I know it's out there somewhere. But I believe
it was
Francesca
the amendment.
May have
It was the amendment
to
the violence.
We amended it.
Any act of violence or any
hence Josh with the knife stabbing the tent with a person in
anybody. It was any physical violence or
Rob reaching across and popping.
That actually falls under it too.
Mic check!
Mic check!
Everybody deserves a chance to have their voice heard.
Yep.
That is one of the biggest reasons this movement exists, is to give people a chance to have their voice heard. So let's just go with that process.
They might be amended.
And I'm
See,
also,
Mic check!
Mic check! Mic check! I'm also pretty sure we can all agree that fucking amendment was bullshit and part of a witch hunt. Because if we're gonna go by that, why are we even bother giving Kevin a 48 hour? Because he's repeatedly demonstrated antagonistic behavior. Rob would be kicked out. Josh would be kicked out. Brian and Francesca's threats are both covered under that. And Kirk did punch back. And if we're going to go by that, why even bother having these votes for this notification? I'm pretty sure we're all at least willing to agree that that bullshit amendment was carried out as basically part of a witch hunt. And we're all at that point just following Brian's lead, like a bunch of lemmings.
Okay.
I'll admit I was.
That's going to be addressed at the thing, but let's get on to the vote to Francesca.
Alright, so the next proposal is that Francesca's behavior violated the code of respect and that she be given notification of a 48-hour timeout starting tonight to be discussed with her at the GA on Tuesday. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in favor. All those opposed? None.
Abstentions?
Any abstentions?
3.
3 abstentions.
Any blocks?
Any blocks? Thanks.
Okay,
So we lost like half the people that voted for Brian. It's gonna look, we need to get everybody in here that just voted.
Alright.
Because now the numbers are all off.
Everybody in the community.
You know what? If they left, they left.
That's fine. Okay, then it's whatever.
If they left, they left.
Okay, 13 in favor and 3 abstentions. I don't know anything about math, so.
What's the number for?
13 and 3.
13 and 3?
Okay, it's passed. Ryan got
Okay.
it.
Hey, who's smoking here, Adam?
Honestly, it's lingering in the tent at this point. So the sooner we can get done.
Yeah. You got it,
Is there
Nick.
something you'd like to put over your face?
I've been trying that already.
Wait, hold
I
on.
got
Is there
some,
any more
cologne,
pressing
like some
matters that
cologne
need to be
help?
discussed tonight?
Does anybody have anything else to bring to the table tonight? Alright. There's been a motion made to adjourn the meeting. I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Looks like a majority here. I didn't even count. Does anybody have any reason we shouldn't end the meeting? Alright. We'll continue tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Okay, so who all in this tent right now